Hello everyone, Onlydraven here again, and today we're doing another tutorial in Minecraft All the Mods 8. Today we're going to be showing you how to build and use a refined storage system. Now refined storage is one of the storage options in All the Mods 8, and personally my favorite storage mod that exists in Minecraft to date. It's very versatile, it's not super hard to make, and it works really well. Now, refined storage itself is a very large mod with a lot of different moving pieces, so we are going to cover a lot of different components over multiple tutorials. But in this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to get your basic storage system set up so that you're able to use it functionally. Now, if you find this video helpful and you like it, please be sure to click like. But most importantly, please remember to hit that subscribe button so that way you can see all my videos and tutorials as they come out. All right, so a couple of different things we're going to need for this. First thing, for refined storage, we're going to need a controller. And a controller is going to be 4 pieces of quartz enriched iron, 3 silicon, 1 machine casing, and 1 advanced processor. Now we're going to pause real quick and we're going to take a look at the processors, of which there are 3 different types. If we look here and we pull up refined storage in the JEI, you're going to see that there is the basic processor, the improved processor, and the advanced processor. Now, to make any of those, you need to make the raw form first. So raw basic, raw improved, or raw advanced. A basic raw is going to be 1 processor binding, an iron ingot, a redstone, and a silicon. The improved is the same thing with gold, and the advanced is the same thing with diamond. You're then going to put that into a furnace or smelter of some kind, and that's going to give you either your raw, improved, or advanced processor. But for this component, we need one of the advanced ones, which uses the diamond. Next, you're going to need a grid. Now, grid is going to be 1 piece of quartz-enriched iron, 1 machine casing, 3 pieces of glass, 2 of the improved processors we just talked about a moment ago, and then a destruction core and a construction core. Those again can be found here inside of the JEI. A construction core is one of the basic processors and a piece of glowstone dust, and the destruction core is a basic processor with a piece of nether quartz. So pretty easy to make once you have those components going. Now, other than a grid, you can choose to use a crafting grid. There are actually several different ones, but crafting grid is traditionally the one that I use. And for that, you need one of the grids we just made, 1 more advanced processor, and then a regular crafting table. Next, you're going to need a disk drive, which is going to be 6 quartz-enriched iron, 1 of the advanced processors, 1 machine casing, and then a chest of any type. And then last, you're going to need a storage disk. Today, we're just going to be looking at the 1K storage disk, which is a storage housing and a 1K storage part. Now, to make a 1K storage part, and there are several different ones to look at, a 1K storage part is going to be 4 silicon, 3 glass, a redstone, and a quartz-enriched iron. Now, there are larger versions, 4K, 16K, and 64K. And these basically build upon each other. So for a 4K, you need 3 of the 1K for basic processors, a quartz enriched and a redstone. But for 3 of these, which hold 1,000 items apiece, you get one that holds 4,000. So you're basically getting an extra 1,000 storage for that build. The 16K does the same thing. 3 of the 4, which normally would be 12,000, gives us a 16,000. So we're getting an extra storage parts worth of storage each time we upgrade. The same goes for the 64, which gives us 3 16s, gives us the equivalent of 4 16s. So there's also a fluid version of this, which will allow your refined storage to hold liquids of certain types as well. Water, lava, pink slime, maybe latex, etc. And they build basically the same way, although the smallest one is a 64K, which is silicon. The only real difference there is you're using a bucket instead of a piece of redstone. Then it goes 256 fluid, 1024K, and 4096K. I think that's like 4 million. My math is not strong. But the fluid version works the same way. All right, so let's go ahead and put this together. So we're going to grab those components we just looked at, And then we're also going to grab ourselves some power, because you are going to need RF power source for this to work. We're going to start by putting down our controller. Now, the controller is the basic building block. That's what gets started, and that's the component that needs power. Now, I'm just using a creative battery, but any RF power source in the game will work. So you can use windmills, generators, reactors, anything that produces RF power will work for you. I'm connecting it with a energy pipe, but again, you could connect with flux. Anything that gets RF power into your controller will work. And as you can see, it's all lit up now, letting us know that it has power. Next, you're just going to put on your grid. That's the first grid we made. Okay, and when we click on that, now we see we have a grid. This is the items that are in our system. So technically, we would be able to put things in and out. But right now, I can't put anything in there because there's no storage medium to hold items. So for that, we're going to put our disk drive down. Now, one great thing about refined storage is each of the refined storage blocks that you have connected to each other will have power. So if I put another disk drive and another disk drive, or even another grid, like another crafting grid, if I want to have a regular one and a crafting grid, or a fluid grid, which there's one of those as well, all of them will have power as long as in a chain the refined components connect to your controller that has power. You can power them individually if you want, but you really don't have to. So now that we have a disk drive, we still can't put things inside because we have a disk drive, but there's no storage in it. So you're going to right-click on that, and that's where you're going to put your storage disk. So by placing your storage disk, which we're using the 1K, it says that now we have 0 of 1,000 items in our storage system. So now when I go into my grid, if I take an item and put it in there, and now it's in my storage. We look at our disk drive, it says 1 of 1,000. So I can put items in or take items out very easily just by clicking on them, just like taking things out of any other storage medium. Okay? Now, we get rid of the grid and we replace it with a crafting grid. It works the same way, except now we have the ability to craft directly using items inside of our storage. Items can go in and out the same way. There are ways to automate items going in and out of your system. We're going to cover that in an automation tutorial. But this, just for the basics, I can go and put items in there. Now, a great thing about refined storage is there's no limit to the amount of types of different things you can put in your storage system. So as long as I have up to 1,000 items, I could have 1 of 1,000 different things, or I could have 1,000 of one thing. It doesn't matter. Super easy. You can do that. And if I add another 1K storage disk here, I would then have 2,000. If I replace this with a 16K, I would have 16,000. So you can increase your storage exponentially very quickly. And if this runs out of slots and you don't feel like, combining them into larger disks, you can just add another disk drive. Connect it right here, put another one in it. It's going to give you the additional storage. So you can keep adding disk drives if you want to keep giving yourself room for more disks if you don't want to trouble with taking things out of them. So for an example here, we're going to go ahead and let's see. We're going to grab ourselves something to build with. Here we go. We'll grab ourselves some oak logs. Okay, I'm going to put 2 stacks of oak logs in there, 128, and they will stack as high as the storage will allow you. So there's no maximum to the number of this will be. It won't be a whole bunch of stacks of 64. So you can see if I put another one, it's just going to keep stacking on top of wood. All right, so I want to craft some wooden planks, right? I'm going to go ahead and take a stack of these and set this in here. Now, if I click, I can take that out, and now I have 4 planks. It's pulled out of my inventory that amount. Now here's another great thing. If I just have 1 there and I pull 4 out, you'll see this didn't disappear. It's going to continue to pull items out of your storage for you. This number up here is dropping, but I'm just continuing this way. I can hold shift and left click and make a full stack at one time. Or if I have something in the JEI I want to make, let's just go ahead and pull out a refined storage here. And let's say I wanted to make planks this way. You could just go ahead, find the recipe you want, click on it, and it would technically pull it in there as well. So there's a lot of different ways to be able to do that. I can put my wood planks in there, and now I have that to craft with. So if I wanted to go ahead and make myself a crafting table, I can set that in there. Now I have a crafting table. I could make a few of them, and it's going to pull out of there as long as I have planks. So refined storage is awesome because, again, it will let you put as many items in as you want. And this includes durability items. So if you have helmets or swords or shovels, chest pieces, armor, things that you find that very often won't stack, or go into some different storage mediums, you can put those completely in here, and it will only stack them if they're exactly identical, same durability, same abilities, but it's still going to let you put them in here and store them, and you'll be able to do a search for them, anything you want. What in the... One moment. We have some unwanted visitors. Give me this. No llamas allowed. Sorry about that. Every time I turn around, llamas. So, refined storage is a great storage medium. It doesn't take a whole lot of resources to get started. Once you've got a hold of some silicon and some quartz, so basically you're probably going to want to get to the nether to get those items. There are other ways, but that's usually going to be the quickest way to get it up and going. And then you start getting that in quantities, you can start making yourself larger and larger storage parts, and you can start building on with all the additional components and items that refined storage will give you. But this will give you a basic working storage system. Again, I prefer to use the crafting grid, but you can use just the regular grid if you don't care about crafting in there too much, or you don't have the components to get started. All right, so that's a basic refined storage. Highly recommend making one. It is one of the different storage systems in the All the Mods 8 pack, which of course you have your different chests, backpacks, you've got functional storage, it's also got applied energetics, so your AE storage, but refined storage is my favorite. There's a lot of different achievements and advancements involved in the game with making those, and we're going to look at a lot of those components in future videos as well. So. All right, so if you have any questions about this tutorial or any of my tutorials, please be sure to put that down in the comments, and I'll do my very best to get back with you as quickly as I possibly can, as well as any recommendations or suggestions you may have for other tutorials you'd like to see in All the Mods 8. I'm always looking for new ideas. You can also go to my website, Onlydraven.com, and there at the bottom of the homepage is a place that you can submit questions, feedback, or recommendations via email. While you're there, you'll also find links to all my socials, my streaming schedule, and a bunch of other great resources, so I do recommend checking out the website. But that is going to do us for today. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.